Yeah, it took a little longer than expected. My sister called me, had a little conversation with my sister. One of my sisters. Thank you for saying that. My dad went to the hospital. He's gonna be all right though. Just a little, just a little concerned at first because my dad is he's jabbed and he got all of his boosters. So whenever you say he's going to the hospital, I'm like, what? What you mean? But he's good. He's gonna be good. All right. So yeah, whoever's here and you want to come up back on stage, or somebody new, you want to come on stage, come up on stage, and let's converse. Let's converse. Yeah, my dad's gonna be all right. Just a little. He's just having some shooting pain. He said it's some pain, like behind his ears, like shooting to the other ear, and now it's moving down his body. I'm like, you gonna be okay. You gonna be okay, Pop. So, yeah. Still carrying my card on me, my Six of Wands. It's important to carry your card with you all day. Wishing him a speedy recovery. Yeah, he's good. I just told him to order. I just told him what herbs to order. He's good. So, like I said, it's been 3 years since Yeah, so y'all come back up on stage. Come back up on stage. Whoever wants to come up on stage. Let's continue this conversation. Let's continue this conversation. Right? Yeah, always at work. I'm always sending my family care packages. I'm like, wait, you got what? You got a cold? Even though, have y'all noticed that colds aren't really a thing since the whole pandemic? I haven't seen one person with a cold in years. I'm like, colds just disappeared? What in the... Currently in Prospect Park, grounding myself. Oh, good. Good. That's perfect. He's in good hands with you. Yeah. Every time I recommend my dad something, he's like, damn, son, this really worked. I'm like, yeah, Pop, that's kind of what I do. That's kind of what I do. Of course it worked. I got you. I sent him some ginkgo biloba. He was like, damn, I feel smarter. I got all this energy. I sent him some ginseng. He's never really been into herbs like that. He's the type of person to go get some Tylenol or some Advil when he has a headache. So the cold shot knocked out that flu shot. Listen. And while I'm waiting for y'all to come back up on stage, the stage is open, y'all. I want to hear from y'all. I'm not in the mood just to like talk at y'all. I want to talk with y'all. So if nobody comes up on stage, we're just gonna end early, and then I'll see y'all at film night in like 2 hours, right? But one thing that I've noticed too is that if we're seeing all of these reactions from the soup, right? What do y'all blessings? What do y'all think were the ramifications from the shots that we got when we were
That's what I
younger?
was really gonna ask, because I was like, what? Seeing my family's health, like everyone has these weird responses that never had health problems really before, and now are like all of a sudden in the hospital for different minor things. Like nothing seems consistent in like the response. Because my brother, he was just in the hospital because his stomach was just like hurting, excruciating pain. And the doctors were like, we don't know. They know, but they were like, we don't know what caused this. We're just gonna monitor it. So they just kept him in there for like a couple, whatever.
Yeah, because Honestly, I'm thinking. I just bought a book. Let me show y'all this book I got. Blessings, Kayla. Hold on.
Hi, Kayla. Blessings.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling so good today. I was like, today is a clean day. I'm just gonna like slowly clean the home, be on here a little bit, clean a little bit. So I'm
That's
feeling
pretty much
good.
what I've been doing today. I did a lot of cleaning. I redid my office space.
Mm.
That was a good little vibe.
The rearrange, spring cleaning.
Yep. Cleaning, get it up out
So
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
I was in my favorite bookstore, and you know how I feel like books choose you just like crystals, right? And this book chose me. It's called Enzymes: The Fountain of Life. You know, as a herbalist, I always like to see like what can I learn more of? And enzymes are like super important. And it's the funny thing is that the soup is basically enzyme, like the luciferase. It gives it to your body, and it does this protein synthesis, and then it speeds up anything. Let's say you have like inflammation in your chest. Well, if you get the soup, then you're probably going to end up having chest cancer or something like that. It just whatever it interacts with, it either speeds up the process or breaks it down, like it slows it down, right? So this book, I believe, enzymes are the key. It's going to be the cure. It's going to be able to reverse the effects of the soup. I truly believe enzymes are the key to reversing, because enzymes are what was used to cause all of this in the first place. So this book spoke to me. It was like I saw it one time, and then I didn't get it, and then I came back and it was still there, and it was just kind of shining. I was like, yeah, I'm meant to get this. So, and it was written by three doctors, and it's like a 300 pager, but I'm gonna knock this out, and then for a bonus, for my green thumbs, this is called Pardiarco. It's a powerful herb. Takes care of candida. It has a really lot of a lot of good benefits, but candida is the main one. And if you want a herb to really boost your immune system, Paul Diarco, I'm telling you, it's one of my favorites besides spirulina. There's like for every single ailment, there's a herb. Every single ailment, there's a herb. I truly believe this, and we just have to spend time to find it. You know, Dr. Sebi cured a blind man. When have you ever heard of blindness being cured, right? So that's why they took him out before this whole soup thing.
I have a hyssop syrup that I've made,
Enzymes,
lime syrup that I made for the kids. Well, I make for the house. But I always have I usually try to have my kids take 2 spoonfuls a day. And they're always like in rebellion mode. But they noticed, like, we got through the flu season, everybody was, good.
like
see the results in the day, they don't like to take it.
Lauren Parker, herb for acne, you can use basil oil. Basil oil for acne. It's going to do wonders. Get you some basil oil. Yeah. Yeah.
You were saying like also the cold don't exist, and that's so true. Like I have not seen anybody with a cold at all around me or anything, and even myself. Like I thought I was getting sick the other day, so I took some oregano oil because I was like, oh no, like because I'm in the middle of recording my project, and I was like, my voice needs to be in check, and I was like, that wasn't even me getting sick, because usually even if I took something, I would still have like effects of it, and I was like, I don't have anything, so that was strange to me. And now if you have a cold symptom, it's like you have COVID. Go stay in the house for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
Exactly, Joe. If you look in most medical books, and you see next to where it says cold, it says SARS too. Like the cold and COVID are the same exact thing. And a virus actually doesn't exist unless you put it in food or something. Like you have to have a carrier for a virus. That's why like people didn't really start to see symptoms until they got injected. Like a virus out in the air, it doesn't exist. Like it has to be in food, it has to be in water, it needs a carrier, right? Where can I get some?
Glad you said that.
Yeah, for burdock root, sarsaparilla, like those are really good for iron, to build up your blood as well. Um, and Kayla, were you about to say something? Sorry.
Well, no, I just was saying I'm so glad you said that about how a virus actually spreads. You remember at the beginning of it, he basically was like, "Oh, it's in the air." You know, everybody wear masks, and if you think it's like, hell, if it's in the air, it's not alive.
Exactly.
Facts.
It's dead once it hits the air.
Right,
So
right.
what does that mean? Exactly.
And one thing that affects millennials the most, y'all, is okay. So I was talking about the shots that we all got when we were younger. I don't know if y'all got them, but I remember when my mom took me to get my shot. I have memories from when I was like the baby photo that I posted in my stories the other day. I remember being in Kmart taking that photo. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
Oh.
I remember my mom pushed me in the buggy. I remember being yeah. So one thing I remember is getting that shot, and then I had this wild rash on my stomach immediately, and I didn't even think about it until you get older. You're like, oh shit, that's what that rash was from. So if we got those shots when we were younger, because a lot of us had to get them to go to school, if not your parents got in trouble. Why do y'all think most millennials, 1 out of every 3 people has like either herpes or what is it? Cold sores, which is just herpes.
I was just gonna
Yeah, like 1 out of every 3 people, literally. It's more herpes is more common than the common cold. Syphilis,
that's true. True.
HIV, you name it. Like it's so I think a lot of those actually came from those shots.
When did
You're
HIV? What was
so
like the date
on
on
to
HIV?
something.
You said what?
You know, go first.
No, I was just saying he's onto something. Go ahead.
I was thinking like, what is like the dates and period of time when HIV boomed?
Right?
Oh, because they did try to make it seem like, and it's also like in media, they try to make it seem like, oh, this was a culture and this is why it boomed.
Yeah, was it a culture or was it just mass vaccinations were mandatory for school kids?
Exactly. I truly think that's where it came from. Think about the syphilis trials with the Tuskegee Airmen. Like they were injected with syphilis. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I really think if we trace back the root to a lot of these, which there is a cure for like herpes and all that stuff. Like, matter of fact, if anybody is in here that has it, because it's 1 out of every 3 people, just get you some oregano oil, put it in olive oil next time you have an outbreak, and put it on your thank me later. Wild oil of oregano. But I remember when the HIV was running wild, they were blaming Dr. Fauci. They had protests. They had mass protests saying Dr. Fauci is the one that gave us AIDS.
And
right? And
they just all disappeared.
Exactly.
It wasn't isn't COVID, when you think about it, it's designed to kind of attack all these specific diseases, right? And so what if they were purposely planting all different type of smaller diseases, because like best laid plans, so they know COVID is coming, right? So you send out all of these smaller little diseases into the public through the vaccines. You're basically setting up the foundation for, COVID to come through and attack that disease. It probably has because a virus has a DNA, right? It has
Facts.
a look to it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, like it
they already
weakens the
with all
immune
of these
system.
diseases you just said it's the same thing as the cold, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're adding a
Exactly.
little bit of the same code into every one of these diseases.
Facts. That's yeah, because they said COVID, the jab has HIV in it.
Right, right. Look, I rest my case.
Yeah, and they
That's
don't,
why I
yeah,
hadn't heard
they
that.
tell you it's not curable. Why do you think they took out Dr. Sebi before this whole thing went? Because he would have knocked this thing out in no time, but not, it's everything has a cure. It just needs the right person to step up and be like, look, I can cure this. Have y'all heard of this lady who's now using radio technology to cure cancer? Like cancer has a cure now. She's on TikTok everywhere. Like she's literally has cured cancer. I think they're probably going to do something to try to discredit her or literally take her out. But she's cured cancer. Like it's she uses radio technology. She pinpoints where the cancer is, and then she zaps it somehow, and then like it kills the cancer like that.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying with Saturn and Pisces, we're moving into this area of medical. Like a lot of this stuff is about to come out in the open. Like there is a cure for everything. I guarantee y'all in the next couple of years, y'all will be like, wait, that has a cure. This has a cure. Like everything is about to straight up start to be cured.
And what you're saying about the truth too, because I don't know if y'all remember when COVID, the whatever pandemic first came out or whatever, where doctors were like, I'm being told to just write stuff down and write like that. And I feel like a lot of doctors were just being forced to say things or do things. I feel like a lot of doctors are going to start like really exposing the truth of what this whole plan was, because I was blessed to have a doctor in the time, I think I told you guys before, that like told me not to get it. And so I was like, to have a medical professional, whatever that means, tell me how to get it, I mean not to get it, like that goes to show this is not something that like everyone should be participating in, especially
Thanks.
I feel like people of color.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that Bill Fakes was like? I've been waiting to get that one out.
I would have expected it.
I've been waiting to get that one out. Why do you think Bill Fakes was like? Yeah, I think that it's important that the low income communities, the black people, go ahead and get it first. They kept saying that.
They were so focused on getting the vax to the hood.
The trucks
I just saw
driving around, the signs got all these celebrities. I saw a truck when I was living in New York that was playing Cardi B, driving around Bed-Stuy, like saying get vaccinated. And I was like, the marketing, just like, just like putting somebody that they know everybody like, and putting this like medical, basically a mandate on it. And it's like, it just speaks to the psychology of especially younger, like youth and everything, like, thinking whether Cardi endorsed it or not, like thinking like, this person must have, when really all these celebrities don't even have vaccinations because they know what's going on.
Right.
Another thing, people fake advertising it. Like they say they have it and they don't. They really got like a water shot or whatever they call it. The fake.
Yeah, and I don't know if y'all saw the what's the Veritas project, when they interviewed the guy who worked at Pfizer, and he was like, yeah, I mean, in layman's terms, he pretty much said like, yeah, we fucking up a lot of people. He said like all of these side effects are coming. He said like women's periods are getting messed up, like all this stuff. He was admitting to it, like they don't care that they're messing people up, and that everything that people have been saying about the jabs are actually true. So it's like damn, if Bill Fakes is trying to get everybody to go vegan, that's why I've been thinking twice about like, wait a minute, hold up, why are they trying to advertise for everybody to go vegan now?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I've really been questioning the whole, like,
Mm.
yeah, the whole vegan thing. I'm like, wait, it's on. And all the problems I had when I was plant based. I mean, I only eat eggs now, but still, you know, I'm like 99% plant based. But it's like, it's something not right. If they're advertising it, nope. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
like,
I don't think it's really like the part of being vegan. I think it's that now they can market these things that these products that are also like this plant-based meat or whatever it is, or like these fake products and say vegan on it, and then people can be like, "Oh, I'm eating healthy" or what, and it gets more attraction. But I feel like the actual like being vegan is not necessarily the negative. It's like how they're gonna use being vegan with like all of the frozen foods and all of the you know, just all the stuff that they use to make people want to purchase it. And I even saw in LA, and I was like only in LA. I was out yesterday, and I saw vegan fast food. That's what it said, and I was like, wait, why would you want to eat
wow.
vegan fast food like that, and you're gonna label it as that? And I was like, who's eating here? And I was like, I guess a bunch
Is it
of, I don't
Veggie
know,
Grill?
what you
What's
say?
Veggie
the name of
Grill?
it?
It's called Veggie Grill, and you know I'm guilty. I used to work there when I needed some money.
No, no, no,
It's
no.
yeah, okay.
It was literally vegan fast food. Like that was the name.
Oh,
Oh
And
wow.
wow.
so I was like, oh, there's no hiding it. There's just like,
Mm.
oh, this is like, and it had, I thought it was McDonald's at first because before I saw the sign, I saw like these like McMuffins and stuff and like just stuff that looked like McDonald's. And I was like, oh, McDonald's is doing vegan stuff now. And then
Mm.
I turned around the corner and I saw the sign and I was like, wait, what? This is vegan fast food? Are you serious? And I was like, wow, we're living in a time where like I was like the farmers market is the only place where I feel safe now.
And y'all know Beyond Burger is connected to Bill Gates. He's the one that pretty much endorsed the man who went from Coca-Cola to Beyond Burger. And there's a reason why Beyond Burger is close to Planned Parenthood's. You find HK293 up in that meat, which is kidney embryonic cells. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, literally eating human flesh.
Listen,
It's called
why would
Impossible Burger for a reason. I mean,
doesn't it
damn.
remind you of like the Matrix when they were feeding everybody in the units themselves, like you're actually eating yourselves?
Cloud Atlas?
Cloud. I watched. I was
Yeah.
like, so like they were.
And they warmed us up because I remember even with The Walking Dead, when they were eating like flesh there, like I feel like there's just so many shows where they're like eating humans, and I'm like, what is this? Who is in the writer's room where this is like becoming a trend in television and film where it's like, oh, let's make it more dramatic and like let's have them eat themselves. Like what?
Mm,
So there
mm.
has to be some there has to be some other agenda because I'm like I always when I look at movies, I'm looking at like all directions, like the actor, like the who's writing, the way it's filmed, and it's like some stuff really don't make sense. As
Mm.
to like why is this a trending scenario in film and television, especially on the more stream heavy ones like Netflix, Hulu, the
Yeah.
stuff everybody subscribed to,
Right.
which is what has these on the front cover of your Explorer is like Walking Dead new season. Like you gotta watch this or whatever. Like, you know, and it's like, hold on. This isn't if no one's taking a second look, it's like how? Because it's in our face of the marketing behind like different agendas. And if you look at a lot of these popular shows, the writing is very similar.
Mm.
Very,
Yeah.
very similar in terms of like what exactly is the base of it, and a lot of it is what were we saying? Where it's
Like
like
The Last of Us. Have you seen that one?
No,
Oh,
I
you need to
haven't.
watch that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ruin it, but
The Last of Us. What is it on?
HBO Max.
Okay, I got that. Okay.
I think
The
with like
Last
the
of Us.
cannibalism, it's like synthesizing, making you just almost sleep to the prospect. So when somebody drops a human meat burger, people won't be like, "What the? What the hell?" They put out so much stuff to where it psychologically fucks you up to where you think they're embedding it into your brain.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Programming.
and also
Yeah.
with this whole CFDA or is this? No, that's a fashion. What is it? The food.
The
What is the
FDA,
food people that?
FDA.
Yeah, them checking stuff or whatever to give the stamp of approval is ridiculous. Like, yeah, I heard so many people. Well, it's FDA approved, and it's like, what does that
Get paid
mean?
off.
yeah. What he said. Tomatoes, potatoes, beans, greens, that they don't eat.
Hey y'all, in the comment section, don't be afraid to send a request. We got room for one more if y'all want to come up here.
Quadro.
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, Lauren, she wrote a long one.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm like, go. Y'all got a lot to say. Come on up. Yeah, and y'all know Bill Gates is getting into livestock. I think he's bought a water company. Let me look that up while y'all.
He's in the water too, right? And he owns a lot of land in like it's either Wyoming, Oregon, or Montana, somewhere up in there. Cow land, livestock land.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, whatever they start to advertise, I take a double look at, and it's just to be aware. Like, I'm being called to not really. Side note, I'm being called to not really dive deep into like conspiracies that's going to lead people down these like rabbit holes of like fear. I'm being more called now to talk about like, like things that are going to help people to elevate and find their consciousness, like the subtle bodies and the kundalini and things of that sort. I said all I need to say was conspiracies. I literally said everything that needed to be said. If there's something else that pops up, maybe I'll jump into it. But it's like you can only say so many things, so many certain ways, and you start to go in circles. But it's like there is actually a department in the government that's dedicated to spreading false conspiracies so that people can get distracted with going down these rabbit holes that leads nowhere. Or, really, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because we keep talking about the things that they want to bring into manifestation, So it's like, how can we change the narrative and start to refocus and combat what they want us to talk about and say, you know what, that's not important. Y'all want us to talk about this, but we're not living in fear over here anymore. Or we're not living in fear, period. So it's important to be knowledgeable of what's happening. Like, okay, Bill Gates is getting into livestock, if he's getting into water, he's buying all these land. What does that mean? Like, what moves are being made, and how can we educate ourselves to start to grow our own food? Because I don't know if y'all been tasting this fruit lately, but
the fruit ain't it.
The apples, they all taste like air, y'all. Like I said this before, like it tastes like air. It don't taste like real fruit. It don't taste like real food. So
You used to be able to stuff on an apple and have it like that.
And the juice just. I was even with the conspiracy thing too. Like I feel like it's also to get us to turn against each other.
Exactly.
Like if you don't agree with this, hi.
Hey y'all.
If you don't agree with this conspiracy, we not cool. Like that's what I see it a lot. I saw it a lot in New York more so. It's like the people that be out in the streets are like, there's so many different people that believe different stuff, which I feel like is why I was put there to kind of like have this outer look on and be able to take pieces from every little thing because there's a little bit of truth in everything. But it's like when you're in those collective groups, it definitely puts this huge separation on everybody. And then it puts people in these, like what you said, rabbit holes of like, I'm going deep into the rabbit hole of like, this is what's going to happen to the sun. And we're waiting for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looking up, waiting for a flare.
Right. And then it starts to, I noticed too, like when I'm deep into these rabbit holes, like I'm grateful for all the work that I did, but now it's just like, it's kind of depressing, man. Like you get so far deep where it's like, you start to get not nihilistic, but it's like, it brings you to a dark place. It brings you to a dark place. And I don't know if that's gonna, getting the information out is good, but now it's like since everything is shifting, especially with Pluto moving to Aquarius, I really think that's why a lot of perspectives are changing. It's now how can we come together as a collective and stop talking about it, but actually make some actionable changes. You know, like and building this community is one way that we can do that. Hey, Lauren, what do you have on your mind?
And you know me, I was just going to hop in and talk about, you know, all the ingredients. One thing I look at is the ingredients list. Like I am like a freak when it comes to that. If it's got, I think my husband was in like a CrossFit class and he told me that the nutritionist told them like if it has 3 or more, it's no good. You know what I mean? So, you know, just the purest ingredients. And then I wrote in the comments just about the candy, like, and how they have us going door to door, knocking on people's door, getting this terrible ass candy. Like, oh, I get fired up when I talk about it. But, but yeah, I've noticed that like when I take my kids off of that candy, and you know, I mean, God, it's been years, but like every once in a while I'll let them, or they'll be at the neighbors and I'll just like let them. I'm like, oh, sure, fine. But then they come home and I'm like, you guys, this is exactly why I don't give you that candy, because y'all act a fool with that red 40 and yellow 50 and whatever, all those numbers. It's poisonous. And so hell yeah, I just
you're right. It's not real food. It's not real ingredients.
Yeah.
Hey, Ebony, blessings. Ebony, you should come up on stage. I saw you come up on there here. But yeah, you're right. It's not real food. And I am really starting to get worried about the integrity of a lot of these companies like Whole Foods, which is tied to the prison industrial complex. That's a whole other story. But a lot of the food that you go to Whole Foods for, you would think that it's like super organic and stuff. But I saw organic seedless grapes in Whole Foods, and I was just like, wait a minute, that's a misnomer. Like Mother Nature doesn't make seedless, you know, like seedless fruits. She always creates fruits to bear more fruits, always.
Yeah.
So it can't be organic. So I think the integrity is compromised. And where can we actually go to get real food now?
Yeah, the farmers markets. I say go to the farmers markets. Yeah, and I implore you too to get to know your like I go to a favorite person every time I go. Like I'm like, hey girl, like we like know each other, like her and her family and my family. Like she's like, oh, where were you this weekend? You know, if I missed one, but just get to know like at least 1 or 2 of the farmers that are there. And it's not like you're in competition. I mean, I guess technically you are, but still, like, you know, maybe one person might have better than the other or vice versa, but just get to know them so that you can really understand like what type of things that they do in their growing process. Do they have a regenerative practices? Do they, you know, practice organic? Do, you know, whatever. But yeah, get to know them.
You're so right, because I feel like I go to the farmer's market and I just grab, but like you're so right, I should actually, you know, engage and see like where is it grown, how is it grown, like because it's sometimes overwhelming, especially in bigger cities with the farmer's market, because it's like so many tables and so much stuff. And who is to say that even everything at the farmer's market is like...
I was just going to say that. A lot of these farmers, the integrity of these farmers, I don't know if y'all remember those videos when the pandemic first started. A lot of videos were going around where farmers were like, we're actually getting paid by the government to burn our food, to, you know, to destroy our crops. And a lot of these farmers are now being paid off. Because I go to the Easter market over here in Detroit. And whatever I can't buy at the Easter market, then I'll go over to Whole Foods, hoping that, you know, I can get some like rice or something that I can't find at the farmer's market, and it'd be from a good source. But even that's hard now, right? And when you go to the farmer, you're like, okay, you're a farmer. Hopefully you have integrity. But I don't know if you guys remember this whole chicken thing that was happening where the hens weren't producing eggs. And it's because of the feed that the farmers were getting. And it was stopping their hens from producing eggs. So it's like, even if the farmers have the best intentions, sometimes they could be misled, or they could be using pesticides, or they can be, their practices might not be the best. They might be in it for a quick buck. So like you said, Lauren, it's good to find a good farmer that you can build a relationship with.
Yeah, because also it's the whole domino effect. Like they get these farmers in survival mode where then they're begging, they need the money. They need like this, and then they wave the money in the face like, well, if you do this, like this will all be paid off. And it's kind of it's just reverse psychology almost, or not reverse psychology, where it's just like persuading them into acting out of integrity. And really, what's the purpose of having a farm at that point and feeding these people? Like, where's your conscience of like, this could harm people, or chemicals that everything is sprayed with can really lead to long-term effects. So you might be like, oh, it's not doing anything right now. Like I'm not having people pop up dead, but we don't know what could happen. So this is a good conversation to have too, as far as like where all of us as a collective are getting our food, because if we're going to also be living in a space, like I feel like the energy that we use to manifest comes from our food, like in how we eat. So if we're not feeding our body good things like exercising, then how are we all going to come together? Because that's also a part of it, like what we intake every day and what our diet is, not just food, but everything.
Everything, yeah, most definitely. It's food is everything. Like literally, it gives you like food is everything. If you have contaminated food, you're gonna have contaminated thoughts, and therefore you're gonna have a contaminated reality. And they know this. They know that it starts at the food, what's on our plate. Like you look at like diabetes, high blood pressure, all of that is being caused by our plate. And from the thousands of people I've helped over the years with herbalism, I noticed that the main thing that causes every single ailment is the food. And a lot of them are addicted to the food because a lot of these additives that are going into the food are the same things that will make people addicted to cigarettes. So it's like some people literally can't put the food down because they're like, there's something in this food that it's just so damn good. No wonder you can't stop going to Pizza Hut or McDonald's, because you're literally addicted to it. You're not supposed to be eating food that much. Like, man. Yeah, so we have to take the power back. And one of the ways to do that is by growing our own food, learning how you don't have to go to school to learn agriculture or horticulture. You can go to YouTube and just learn how to germinate a seed. And once you learn how to germinate a seed, you know how to grow your own food, because everything starts from a seed. Grow avocado, put an avocado in the ground. You'll have an avocado tree for years.
Start saving your seeds. Like whenever you're eating, that's one thing that one of my friends was telling me. She's like, "Girl, why don't you just save those seeds that you're, throwing out?" I'm like, "Oh yes, like I should." Like, you just don't think of it. You like eat it and then you just like toss it to the side. But just save them. Start saving them, because it's almost like programming your mind to go to the next step.
Yeah. Ebony, I see. Hopefully, you can stick around for a little bit. If you got to go, Selzeri and Anala, we say hey.
I was addicted to Takis, lemon Oreos, and Pizza Hut.
Yo, those Takis are still, I ain't gonna lie.
Lemon Oreos.
I didn't even know they made lemon Oreos.
They made lemon Oreos?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oreos, though.
Yeah, if you
I've noticed more advertisement for that kind of stuff, too. Like Kit Kats, Oreos. I'm like, why am I seeing back to back to back Kit Kat or like Oreo commercials? And I'm like, yo, this is definitely agenda, because what? I've never seen so much. This has been like the most I've seen all my life.
It's convenience. People buy convenience.
Yeah, oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah. And I understand too. Like, I have 3 kids and a fam, you know, like I want something quick, but almost like my thing is if you plan it, like if you plan it, just like y'all saying, like we need to plan, like, you know, y'all's next step for, you know, buying property. You got to plan your food and your meals and what you're putting into your body if you know, want to set yourself up for success, I think too. Like, and just even a quick idea, like, you know, I want like this meat today, this vegetable, and this starch, you know what I mean? Or this meat, vegetable, fat, you know, just get those 3, plan those, that I want that 3, and then go with that 3, you know?
Yeah, because your body will tell you, like,
Yeah.
this is what I want today.
Yeah.
And so you kind of already have, like, a general idea from just based on, like, when you go to sleep, you're like, oh, your body is already giving you the signals of what I want to eat the next day. And that's amazing to me because I'm like, you're not taught that, especially at least how I felt like growing up in a very Southern Black home. You're not always taught to kind of listen to those things. It's just kind of like whatever.
Whatever.
You the soul food, yeah, it's like the fried chicken.
Listen, they fry everything in the South. Fried Oreos. I was like, wait a minute, what's a fried Oreo?
That
For real?
was like a Friday night thing.
Fried
Like,
Oreo.
fried Oreos.
Right.
Fried catfish.
Yes.
Mm.
Just
And
frying
some
everything.
and mac and cheese.
Yes. Happy birthday, Zuri.
Yeah.
She's definitely done.
Birthday.
It's the 24th. We ain't forget. One thing too is it's called break fast for a reason. You know, some people are eating at like 10 o'clock at night. It's like, wait a minute. Do you think that's right? Like, you should give your body like at least a couple of hours of a break, so you can break the fast.
It's good. Yeah, I do like a good fast. I don't fast every day, but I started with like 1 day a week, and then doing 3 days a week, and then one time I did for a whole week, and wow, yeah,
it does wonders. And during that time, like when I'm fasting, I did a fast yesterday before our live, and I just was taking in sea moss and water. Like when you're fasting, sea moss really helps you to, man, it's a healer. So I highly recommend doing sea moss, and also maybe upping your dinner time. You know, like I was eating at 7 o'clock, then I was like, okay, if I eat at 7 and I go to bed at 10, I'm only getting, so it's like maybe I should move it to 6. So you have to know what works for you and how much of a break you're giving your body, because if you eat late while you're sleeping, your body's trying to break down all that food, especially if you're not taking any digestive enzyme. So you're wondering why you're not having good sleep. Your body's still trying to digest that food. So if you just work with your body, maybe take some chia seeds or just something that can help to get that food down, and up your dinner time. Maybe 8 o'clock doesn't work for you anymore, because the older you get, the more it's going to be, the more work your intestines have to do to break that food down. So maybe you should be eating a little earlier, maybe 5 or 6 p.m., depending on what time you go to sleep. You have to work with your body, not against it, because when you work against your body's taking tally marks like, okay, you're not really protecting me, so I don't know if I should do the best for you. You got to work with your body for real.
Yeah.
That's how
and I think also, no, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm done.
No, I just saying, I think also too, why so many people, including myself, when I have had bad eating habits, it's because it requires discipline to eat, like because it really does. You have to have some kind of schedule, and you have to be like, I'm going to stick to this. Like, I'm not going to sway, because my body is going to respond in certain ways. And if I want to have the energy to do this, or like because I know sometimes if I eat late, I have crazy dreams, like nightmare kind of dreams.
wow.
And so I'm like, oh, don't eat at 1 a.m. like just because you're watching a movie and like you're or like you're working on something late. And I'm like, whoever uses a snack while I'm working on this, like, don't do that, because you don't really need to. And also that that'll build your discipline for not only food but other things, like just having that discipline to say, no, this is my cutoff. I'm going to eat thin, and giving your body, like you said, a break, which is much needed with all, especially today, all the things your body has to do to protect itself now.
Facts. And you know, we'll create a schedule. We'll talk about more about this. We'll talk more about this with the experience system workshop we're going to be doing this summer. But create a schedule that works for you, right? Like on Friday and Saturday, I eat a little bit later. Like I usually, now that we're doing movie nights, I'm like, oh, maybe I should eat while we're watching a movie. So that's why I'm like, let's give people a little bit more time because I'm trying to get my food together. Okay? So I know tonight when we get off this live, before our movie night, I'm gonna cook my dinner so I can eat while we watch the movie. But you just have to know what works for you. If you're going to bed at 11, why are you eating at 9 o'clock? I mean, it does take your body about 2 hours to digest food, but just give it a little grace period and get some enzymes, papaya enzymes, just good digestive enzymes. So that way you're working with your body. It's
And working out.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. That's like going, like when you said that, I still haven't made it to 5 days a week. Okay. that's gonna take a minute.
You
for
can
me,
do it.
I have been, it's just like, I feel like I grew up like running track and just always being in sports, and it was just like I was always in practice. So now I'm like, my body is like it feels like practice almost, but it does require a lot of discipline to do. And so that's something I know that like I'm working on the discipline of like balancing all things. So yeah, I'll get there. But I feel like working out is super crucial. Just when your body really feels like it needs to move, like it will let you know. Like I feel like when I wasn't, if I didn't respond to that, I need to get up and work out, then that turned into like laziness. Like I'm not wanting to do anything, or just like I'm tired. And it's like I'm not really tired. Now your body has been like basically put stagnant, especially a lot of people are working from home or just in the house all the time, sitting down a lot. So moving your body is super important, and also doing things that are fun while you're doing it, like not trying to force yourself to like do something you don't like. Because I know there's certain workouts I don't like to do. So I'm not about to sit here and just because I know like, oh, this might give me this result, I'll figure out other ways that are fun for me, because I feel like that's where it starts. Like you gotta start somewhere, and I know I'm starting with like, okay, what's fun? I know I like to run. I've been a runner since I was a kid. So like I'm like, if anything, you get your ass up and you run the neighborhood. Like even if and I'll take my dog, like I'll take my puppy. She's crazy, but it honestly makes it better.
She's gonna help you. She's almost like your accountability partner.
She is. I was just
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
like your accountability partner. She's gonna be like, she's gonna be like, get up, or I'm gonna be tearing up shit.
Yeah, no, for real. And like, I'm like, that really, I didn't notice that was another reason why she was put in my life, because I was like, honestly, as far as exercise, that's been something, even if I don't do like an intense workout, I'm still moving every single day with her. Like, in that, before I had her, that was not a thing. Like, I could be in bed all day, like on my computer. Because what I do, I'm like, I don't need to necessarily move from my like computer, but that wasn't a good way, and my mood changed and like everything changed. Just from that, even what I wanted to eat. Like, once you move your body, then your body's like, okay, I want this to eat. I don't want the Krispy Kreme, or I don't want the like Oreos. Now I want, because yesterday I worked out and I was like, oh my God, I saw an ad or something and I was like, that could be good. And then once I got to, I think it was a coffee shop, and I saw like the pastries and stuff, I was like, I don't even want, like I don't want that. And I turned around and I ended up having chicken like for myself and broccoli instead of having the crepes dessert that I would have had. And I feel like that was due to me working out. Like if I didn't work out, I probably would have went for the pastry.
Yeah,
probably
it's
wouldn't dessert.
you'll learn more about this in the experience system. But here's a little cheat. Here's a little sneak peek. You know,
Yo.
you can do like activators, right? If you know that working out is hard for you, you know, then put your gym shoes right next to like something you're going to see when you rise before you go to gym. It's like, well, my shoes are here. You know, put your outfit right there too. It's like, well, I'm already halfway there. And let me go ahead and put on my clothes and just go ahead and go to the gym. And then it's that feeling that you get after you get your endorphins going. You're like, man, this, because you literally like, I saw a TikTok video, and it was this doctor that was, I don't know if she was a doctor, maybe not give her that much credit, but it was this woman that was saying that there's something that happens when you can strict your muscles that literally starts to heal your body. It sends signals to your body to heal yourself. So working out is literally medicine for the body. It combats this dis-ease, right? And one thing that you can do to know that, or one thing that your body does let you know that it's healthy, is bowel movements. You should be having a bowel movement after every meal.
Yes,
Every
I
meal.
poo. Have you ever had
Yeah.
the book of poo? Do you have the book of poo?
I saw this in
What's the
somebody's
book?
bathroom.
The book of poo.
Yes, the book of poo. I love okay, this is so funny. I'm sorry, Astro. But me and my husband will be like, what kind of poo did you have? Oh, you had this guy. Well, because you can tell so much about your diet and you and from your poo.
That's
You really
Facts.
can. Like,
Facts.
it's almost like at this point now, I have to go quickly after this, but I can tell like if there's like a parasite or whatever from the poo. So, yep.
yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Lauren, for joining us.
It shouldn't be
Let's see.
hard.
Oh, beautiful. Wow, how old is she?
I have she's gonna be 7, and then I have a 2-year-old over here.
Nice.
The toddler stage, but yes, it was good talking. I'm gonna be on, but yeah, I'm gonna hop down to the bench. So
Okay.
See you later, girl.
Thank you so much for your added to this conversation. Yes, but I don't know if she said she wanted to stay on or come down to the comments. I don't know. If you want to come back up, I don't know. I was trying to read that.
Yeah,
but
her spirit, she's gonna be with us in spirit.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody said chlorophyll changes that. Listen, if your poo is green, my poo, oh, I don't know. That's probably TMI. Anyway, but
We're having this conversation.
Listen,
Oh.
we're pooping wrong too, y'all. We're pooping wrong. Toilet.
Teacher told me
the
that.
way that it's way that it's set up,
yeah. Toilets are working against us. Actually, I'm not gonna say that.
You're supposed to like squat.
And I do squat. And let me tell y'all, it is honestly, if y'all go to a toilet in India, they have like a hole in the ground because they squat, right? And I use, somebody say you got to get the stool. I actually do have a stool that I use when and I have a bidet too. Bidets changed my life. But squatting, you ever seen like the poop emoji? Like if you squat, it actually comes out like a perfect poop emoji versus like when you're on the toilet and you're like, ooh, no, you're gonna get a hemorrhoid. You're gonna get a hernia.
Right.
Oh.
Strain.
Take it from somebody who got hernia surgery. I still got the incision cut. I got a large cut across the bottom of my abdomen because I had a hernia. It's not fun. But after I had that hernia, I was just like, wait a minute. After my surgery, I had a lot of time to sit down and rethink a lot of things and research a lot of things. And I'm like, y'all, like a lot of these systems that have been set up, even down to the toilet paper we use, a lot of these systems are are working against us. They're not here to actually help us. So it's up to us to do the research and question things like, wait a minute, why do we use toilet paper? Is there bleach in toilet paper? Because you're putting it on the most sensitive part, your anus. So if there's bleach in your toilet paper, you should know about it.
And it's
Because
abrasive.
Yeah, it's abrasive too.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and it's just like you can get it, and plus it's just so caveman like, you know, like we should not be using toilet paper. That's why I use baby wipes. Shout out to baby wipes.
Baby wipes are it.
But no,
Yeah,
for
but
real, I always tell people like, man, in a lot of cases, toilet paper is not even enough. That's why you use so much of it. And it still don't be enough. Like you still need the wipe. You need that wipe effect.
exactly. And most people don't even know how to wipe accurately.
Yeah, that's another.
That's a whole nother thing.
Man, listen.
It was like
Yeah, that's a whole nother subject.
For real.
Man, you can't.
It is.
Man. Like,
But I feel
Yeah.
like that's also like how you grew up. Like I feel like your parents, that's one thing that they're the ones who are being the most intimate in that way to show you like how to clean yourself and hygiene, personal hygiene and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're never taught that, you have to, or just, you know, sometimes your parents just don't know. So it's like you have to find ways that work for you, and that's going to take time because not everybody, like, we're giggling and stuff about this conversation. So, like, it's like we gotta be more like, this is what it is, because not everybody knows. I remember this girl who I went to high school with.
Not dingleberries, just Lauren. I'm sorry.
Lauren, I mean, Jessica is sending me. I'm trying to. Jessica is sending me. But exactly, that's why you need white.
Yo,
Dingleberries.
You don't want to
man.
And Chinese medicine.
a private situation and somebody find little cotton ball babies in your ass, like.
Yeah, it's. I honestly, if I'm at home and it's sometimes you just gotta take a shower. You just gotta know when to take a shower, cause yeah. And also another thing is that when you go to the bathroom, it should not smell like a sewer, and that's another. That's another.
That's
No. That lets you know about your health. It's like, wait a minute, hold up, this smells a little bit too funky. What have I been eating? It's not supposed to smell like flowers, but still, like, it's things that you can do.
It shouldn't be this, like, explosive, like, I can't take it.
Right. Like, if I got to use a mask after you, we're going to have to talk.
Yeah.
That means whatever went in and got processed was, like, the waste product of what you ate is funky. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Chlorophyll helps, y'all. Chlorophyll will help you, and it will turn your poop green, and that's not a bad thing.
I had a question too about like what your take is on all these juice companies that are, you know, adopting these different things. They're like, this is good for this, and I noticed that with, you know, Press Juicery, they kind of changed their ingredients or whatever and started adding stuff. But I'm noticing with a lot of different pressed juice places that use like chlorophyll or just use all these different things they put in the water. If that's really what's being, like, what's in it. Like, have you looked into that?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked for like a lot of juice companies, and so when doing this, how to say this without, okay, so a lot of these juice companies do not practice integrity. If it says cold press, it's probably centrifugal force. You can definitely taste the difference if it's cold press or centrifugal force. Cold press is when you take fruit and then you put it in a special bag, you put it in a machine, the machine squeezes the fruit, so it just cold, it presses the juice out of the fruit with no heat. So it's just like cold
Okay.
presses it. But centrifugal force is when you go to like a juicer and they got that big machine that's like it like spins and that adds